Let's read some mail. Alright. Subject, Origin Ganymede Intercept. Do not read, Saturn. We're not supposed to read this, apparently. Let's read it. Author is from Mercury, I guess. I'm completely uninterested in communicating with Ipetus in any capacity. That's not, technically. I know my boundaries, but you're very nice to worry. I know you're not jealous, but you do respect me. But don't make me worry. It's what I like about you. I know you're worried about me. You're not, or rather, I know you're worried for me, not about me, and I appreciate that. But I do want to clarify things so you stop asking me about it, even though it is cute and I do appreciate it. Really, I'm not just saying that. Please don't hear that in a passive-aggressive voice. But I've been meaning to ask this for a while. Is it okay that I believe in this? It's important to me that you understand that it's nothing to do with him. So, I worry that means that you don't understand what it means for me. I don't believe humanity needs to be punished. I'm fine being human, but I think an important reminder is needed. Not alien in the sense of a foreign other that can bear all of our rage and hatred, but alien in the sense of casting our own features into relief. I think what we see as a result should shame us, but there are many things we need to see. You'll probably say you support me and believe in me, thank you, but you'll also say that means something to you too. That's really why I love you. Okay. Not really, Saturn. Well, alright, we're at it. We just, we kind of like, this kind of like a breach of privacy, of our friend, but oh well. String of Pearls Final Specifications. Ipetus Message Intercept. Author Celestial Mechanics Ship Self-Design. This is not what we talked about, not by a mile. You know what I don't actually have. You know I don't actually have a moral compass that does not revolve around what's cool. So coming from me, just know that's my professional opinion that I'm not even sure that this is cool anymore, dude. Creating a theoretical matter is not even hard under laboratory conditions, and in space it's easy to sustain it. But the creation of exotic matter like electrotoxins can get really not fun if you aren't careful. Since you hate fun, I already know that's not what you're after, and you don't have to level with me or anything, that's fine. But I do want you to know that this thing is basically designed to degenerate as quickly as possible. The reactor tends towards aversion, and that would require a pilot I really would not want to meet, and a piloting style that no one should ever do. Eventually, it's going to drag the pilot down, and that's going to be really weird and ugly unless they're immediately destroyed. Clearly you want that. I mean, you said so, but if they're gonna have so much fun, let me try to convince you that they should set a self-destruct in there. Maybe something cool will happen when she averts and this ship self keeps her anchored in space-time to mess everything up. If it's not, don't you want a backup option? So I assume there's a self-destruct button on the String of Pearls? I don't know. Well, Saturn, I would love it, just love it. Yeah? If you mess everything up this time. Is this reverse psychology? Did I really reduce you to that? I'm a little impressed by your persistence in nagging me, but now I'm feeling like I pushed you to your limit. Shut up. As always, I am serious. Messing things up is literally the only thing in the world no one has ever needed to specifically tell me to do. And you keep yelling at me when I do. I've been working to Ipetus's work on the Aversion Project. Oh. How much do you know? More than you know. Of course, it was always suspicious that Ipetus decided to support us. It was very insistent in his interest in taking humanity to the next stage, as if that's why any of us wanted to connect with the so-called existential threat. People who already had everything on Earth couldn't possibly understand. They just want even more for themselves. That's what I thought too. Ipetus's plan is very attractive to certain factions in Memorial Foundation. Certain factions in Memorial Foundation really like the days when humanity was united against the existential threat. Except aliens aren't real. Okay, but they're interdimensional shadow cast by the gravitational impression of human culture in space-time, but that makes them a few shades sort of real and much less dangerous than their cousins on Earth. And even those are so weak, kids with radios can take them out. Okay, another like... I'm still not sure exactly what these existential threats are, but I guess they're just nothing to worry about for the most part. It's funny how, like, you set up these aliens. I mean, in a normal... Well, I say normal, but in the typical, like, sci-fi story, when aliens invade, right? Like aliens invade Earth or whatever, you would think like, the typical cliche story would be that all the humans, would just unite together to fight against the big alien threat, their super alien weapons and everything. I mean, there's probably a bunch of movies made about that exactly that scenario. But, actually in this visual novel, the aliens are just, they're just weaklings that nobody cares about. We don't even know what they are. They barely exist. Anyways, Pluto wiped them out. That was the whole plan. Since humanity doesn't care about them anymore, they never expect that we will find a way to avert our tidal reactors to become the aliens ourselves. Well, the only alien is what is alien to us, and that's fundamentally humanity. We're aliens to ourselves. Fx equals that which is not human that humans are not. So a little bit confused about that. I feel, again, I assume that means something. Fx? And Hippolytus isn't going to give up everything he has for that. You think he's lying about wanting to? I think he's lying about himself wanting to. I think he's happy to let us complete the project and go home, because he'll have exactly what he wants, and the rest of humanity is longing for. A scapegoat. Someone to be an alien humanity could guiltlessly fight against. Yes, I am fine with abandoning Earth. It hasn't given me anything. But not on his terms. Not ever. Don't worry, Mercury. I've got a plan. No matter what, it won't go his way. Okay. No matter what, it won't go his way. Let's see. Deeper cuts. In the Guardian District, closest to the malfunctioning and broken tidal reactor that kept the colony together, time and space aren't quite right. Perfect place to get for a real fight. Let's go. Ugh, this place. You don't feel like seeing home again? Ah, come on. Don't tell me you don't have any fond memories of the Academy. I do, despite myself, and that's why I don't have any wish to see it like this. A ruined garden that only reminds us how weak the gravity of this whole adventure really was compared to Earth. Not to mention, it was all for something completely worthless, too. Wait, now you're grumbling about a mission? This is historic. The lag-rage reactor is just a hollow shell, and there's barely any advantage to have in getting it. There's better be a trap to use you as bait to get Memorial Foundation off our trail. Oh no, what a terrible trap to fall in. More flirting, I see. Is it unbearable? Yes, extremely. Are you really still getting nowhere with her? What are you talking about? I think you said you were gonna crack her open and peel her shell, but I don't think you have. You don't know anything. Shh. I am completely utterly correct then. Again, I'm gonna keep mentioning this, but it just transitions to like these are not giant robot battles, these are just dates. She's highly evasive, point blank or sniper shot. Can't seem to get hit her on. Can't seem to hit her. You're a type, I see. Oh, shut up. I got the Academy's most notorious heartbreaker to look like an idiot at me, so I win, so shut up. She's even stupider than I thought she was. But she's not as stupid as me. You're the one with your guts all over the place. Oh, fine. I'm frustrated, alright? But it's not because I'm getting anywhere, or because I even care. Alright, this time I'm done playing. Happy? If there's anything there, or if she's just metal all the way through, I'm going to find out. If she's that boring, I'll never forgive her. But I'm coming back with guts this time. Okay, got a choice. And my internet's dying? Losing a bunch of frames. It's like coming back, but it's barely. Very unstable. It's in the yellow range now. Oh, back to red. Ah, my god. Because I did my internet just, well, not my internet, in fact, I just had a power outage and everything. So I just want to come back and stream, but now my internet doesn't work as well. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for it to stabilize. I don't think it will, because it doesn't seem like it will. So many technical problems. It's kind of out of my control. Snap it. Snap it. My bitrate's dying. No, it's still dropping. I kind of just want to continue, but it's dropping so much. I'm just gonna wait for a little bit. Maybe it'll fix itself? I don't know. It's like dropping so much. I mean, I don't really need a lot of frames. This is a visual novel, so it's not that important, but I'd rather it not be all framey, you know? I don't know. Maybe if let's see. How about if I stop that? Maybe that'll help? You know, ironically, it seems like on my dashboard says, oh, it's excellent, you know? The connection is excellent. I'm dropping in so many frames. I mean, it's still going. Let me see. I'm just gonna keep going. I mean, you know, it's not. You don't need all the frames, right? It's just some of the frames. I don't know. Hopefully, it's not too bad. I don't know what to do because I just, you know, it's problem after problem. I don't really want to complain about it, but what can you do? I've been losing a bunch of frames last week as well. The week before that too. It wasn't too bad. It was still viewable. There's only like a few percent, like a small percentage of the frames dropping. Right now, it's like a lot. It's like not great. The more I see my stream just like 12% now. 12% of frames keep dropping. Now it's 13%. It just keeps going. Hey, I'll just keep going. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know. I mean, it'll be fun on YouTube. Once I like record this and put this on YouTube. Anyway. Alright, we have two choices. Fight for real in a fun way, or fight for real in a fun way, I guess. I remember when we were Lunaterra, we chose this option, I guess, from her perspective. So, you know, in order to see new scenes, I think I'll choose this one. Fight for real in a fun way. I don't know what this means. Is this another sexual innuendo again? The surprise attack isn't very sporting. Don't be jealous just cause I got mine off first. You got a wound on me and the language reactor shell. That not a good enough deal? No way. In fact, apologize. Hiding so I can't surprise you again so unfair, Lunaterra. Let me bully you some more. I'll pass. Are you sure? You sure you don't want to get bullied? See if you can find me first. You like cat and mouse games, don't you? You want to try again? I won't let you just play a game this time. Can you find me even when I'm serious? Then I'll get serious. Lunaterra hides in the Garden District, the one part of the colony she has no memories of. The Garden District doesn't have any trees or flowers or plants. It's not that kind of garden. A garden for the children meant to inherit space. Not like Lunaterra, who came in the first generation. Teenagers too old and too molded by Earth's gravity to inherit the cosmos. The second generation was raised here. In light of the colony's center, lag-rage tidal reactor Lunaterra remembers like the sun, with hope that they will grow freely in the light of gravity, free of Earth's weight. Lunaterra is the one holding the useless shell of that reactor now. Even broken and useless, LT doesn't feel comfortable holding it. It's an unpleasant, untrustworthy object, and it feels wrong to hold. It was made by people, but it doesn't seem like it was. It's a fake, but it's unsettlingly close to what celestial mechanics eventually intended it to be when they seized control of the reactor before the conflict broke out, something not made by humans. If it's so useless, why don't you just give it back? You can tell what I'm thinking, huh? Or read between the lines, just like Pluto, but different. Something I still can't understand. You've been playing with her too, haven't you? I sure have. Jealous? Which of us, though? Both. I could never read the story like you both. I'm straightforward. Again, they sometimes refer to like the story, as in the literal story, maybe? I don't know. They literally read the narrative. They can read the text boxes. But that's not even a little true. You're being way too stingy with the narration. Narration. You can't perceive space-time as a story, a narration spun out of the ambient gravity humans, telling you about everything that is if you can listen. Okay, is it sometimes... Or is it lore that psychic people can just read narration? That's kind of weird. Alright. You can't see how obviously your envy is bleeding out in everywhere, can you? I'm slipping, huh? Letting out more than I thought. But see why I'm jealous? I don't know anything about what you mean. I wish I could speak that language. Yeah, it's amazing. You should really be sad you don't speak it. I just have this absence. Your impression on the narrative is something like spilled whiteout, a gushing ocean of bleach, which is a pain in the ass for someone like us. You also have a habit of acting too fast to get caught up in the story, especially when it's not going your way. 3 times faster than the story knows what to do with. Yes, 3 times faster. Well, just stop, being 3 times faster. You should not paint your giant robot in red, if that's the case. Anyway. That's how. You're different than Pluto. She would swell into the atmosphere, but you slowly bleed into the spaces between the lines. I can feel you seeping through, blurring the lines between one and the other. What is it you're after? Curious? Then stop hiding. The rain-slick streets are looking more and more the same. The weather is malfunctioning and the moisture regulator is shot, and the failing gravity is doing strange things, playing strange tricks. Mare Christium's feet are wet. She's afraid. She's falling right into a trap that feels like it's in every direction at once. You can't trick me. Lunatero dodges the last second and was never there. If Saturn bleeds into the narrative, then Lunatero's trick is having a real habit of interrupting the story just when it's getting good. Good thing she'll never know how much Saturn and Pluto think that's cool. Again, kind of weird. Like, do they mean like bleeding into the narrative as in like literally what I'm reading on this computer screen right now, or are they talking about like it's like a metaphor of like interpreting like fate? Like how you can like read like she mentioned like you could read like space and time as if it's a story. Do you mean that literally, or are you like breaking the fourth wall, or is it just like a metaphor of their powers? Being able to like tell the future, something like that, like a psychic, obviously. I don't know. I have eyes too, Lunatero. I don't think gravity alone is enough. The Saturn swipes again. Lunatero wouldn't be hit by such a thing, but she isn't ready for the dripping, sparkling neural lightning. She misjudges the distance, the unsureness of gravity. Mare Christium sparks and bleeds from her left arm. Lunatero swings her spear, crushes the string of pearls to the ground. It crumples, then darts away, lost in the mist. Saturn's worse off, but her machine will fix itself, and the poison in Mare Christium's system is only getting worse. You almost got me, but not quite. Is your game off a little today, Lunatero? I thought you were gonna be serious. You're going to have to do a lot better than that if you want to see me get serious. You're misunderstanding? I'm going to cheat. You're the one who has to take this seriously. How is that arm feeling? Still sparkling? Or still sparking rather, not sparkling. Not sparkling as in glitter. Still gooey? It doesn't take that much, Have you been cleaning your system regularly? What kind of a fight are you looking for? A one-sided fight where you try your hardest and still lose. Looking for payback. What? No, who cares about that? It's for you. Because you love getting owned. You're never holding back. There's no way I can beat you. You're even stronger than any story anyone's told about you. You always win and no one touches you. If ship cells fights for life and death, that'll make you a genius. But they're not. They're made in the image of a plastic toy, so fight like plastic toys. So that makes you an idiot for not playing along and being honest. You'll save a lot of time if you give in and say I'm right now. If you beat me for real, that'll be all the answer you need. Stoic to the last, but that's great. Your holding out on me is actually kind of delicious. This is weird. This is some S&M kind of, I don't know. When the story is gonna tell me what's happening, when are you gonna let me hear about all the static in your joints, the trembling in your mass, your slackening grip? I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to know. Lunatera knows that it's true. Saturn can't sense where she's at all, but she knows immediately that Lunaterra knows she knows. Tell me all about that, and I promise, without any hate or fear, I'll listen. You don't believe me, but I promise. I promise I won't laugh or hurt you. I can't see you, so you can escape if you want. I'll let you keep that little ball even, and that poison will wear off, but I want to see. Do you want to show me? Okay. The mere Chrysium crashes to the ground, skids along the west streets of the colony. Her legs give out, and her arms are too weak to catch her fall. String of pearls lands gently. Surprisingly, that's what these ships were meant to do. They're meant to land gently. Even the electrotoxins are tingly, not painful. In a warm, numbing sort of way, like licking a battery with every part of your body. Don't lick batteries. They keep mentioning, licking batteries. Don't do that. There's no way that Lunaterra can stand up. As soon as she lets it all in, she falls in a mess, totally defeated. Oh wow, you really did it. You got so quiet. You're so well trained. You're the big strong ace, but you shut down so quickly. You really can't deal with me at all. Why is that? Didn't you say you weren't gonna bully me? I'm showing all possible restraint. You really did make it hard. I thought you were kinda cool. You really acted like you knew what you were doing, even though you were so scared. Leave me alone. Oh no, baby, but you love this, okay? You're looking forward to it. I can see right through you. These ships are meant to touch. If you never lose, you never let anyone in. Thinking of this as losing at all is actually kinda sad. You want to give this all up and drag me home? Are you really sure? Lunaterra, you really ought not to lie to me so much. This smug, untouchable Lunaterra that I used to hate, she's so boring. But the you that you don't want anyone else to see, that's a much better you. That's the you I want to see. Okay. Lunaterra is conscious of her own breath, the unconscious pulsing rhythm of her ship self, which trembles, and not just from the electrotoxins. She really can't move in any sort of effective way, but what she's feeling isn't fear or even helplessness. It's anticipation. If she thought that she trusted Saturn as much as anyone else, or she thought that rather, that she trusted anyone else, not at all. Now that she has no choice, she's surprised. She trusted Saturn so much, even knowing exactly what she wants to do. This position. Saturn plucks the broken reactor out of the mere Chrysium's hands and tosses it away like trash. And I will. Now that I have the power to peel your skin off and see it. I'm really happy. I never thought I'd finally get to see you like this, even though you're letting me. Little secrets just for me that the narration will never tell. Okay, we don't get to see it. We're the narration. For you only. So I only get to see you twitching helpless. No one else knows. Not telling. But it's just for you, so keep it ambiguous. Got it. I could be straddling you and pinning you. That's certainly possible, but not for certain. I'm not saying anything definite. You've got it. Thank you. I've got my pride. Yeah, your pride? Tell me about that. It's worth a lot to me. And I'm worth even more, right? Okay. And then hard cut. They always hard cuts when it's like... Anyway. And the day is almost here. The deadline to save everyone who came up to space with us. Fellas, trying to bring everyone down. Okay, this is like a message from Lunaterra. Again, yeah, all the messages it seems like we already seen. No one has to die. No one should die. Toys. Earth has a single atomic particle. Giant laser beam cannon. I don't know. And then this is Pluto. Pluto's message that I've read before, so I'm just gonna quickly just read it again real quick, but just like in my head. Precious thing alive. Marissa stole a precious thing? No. That's something else. Naming gives power, existential crisis thing, or rather existential threat. I always want to say, because every time they say existential threat, I always think existential crisis, but that's not right. It's real few. Let's get ready. Okay. Day 7. Route installation complete. New OS in operation. Celestial mechanics fleet collecting in the orbit of Earth's moon. Requests for assistance received. Ignore. awaiting manual input of mission parameters. Assist Cradle Grace's celestial mechanics with the opening of the gravity well and changing gravitational constants to make conflict with Earth possible. Okay, so that's the real mission. That's what, that's what Saturn wants, and that's basically what we did in the Luna Terra's route, I guess. You know. Or maybe not. I don't know. Cradle Grace's is with gun putting. Oh, I don't know. Whatever. Like in general, just like taking control of the gravity well. I guess not exactly that. Anyway. And another mission is get in as much trouble as possible with the Memorial Foundation Ace. Mission created. Calculate gravitational slingshot data from the server hack. Ready for launch? Yes. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate launch to Earth's moon. Cradle Grace is very heavy. Male. Why children? Why children? Memorial Foundation Space Program Documentation, Director Nix. Well, they aren't children anymore, but when they were pilots, they were, for all the obvious reasons that children are more suited to be pilots than adults. Yeah, that's a weird thing, by the way. I mean, okay, maybe that's from, it's like a theme from an anime, you know, very famous anime, Neon Genesis Evangelion, right? The fact that apparently it's always, I guess it's kind of a trope in like any kind of like giant robot anime as well, but it seems to be always children, you know, always seems to be like teenagers and like giant robots, right? You know, those are always the pilots for some reason. And I guess there's a reason, you know, in Evangelion, but anyway. Since the decline of the space program, there have been fewer and fewer waves of new recruits, and the current pilot generations have no successors. Adults are serving as pilots because there is no longer any children in space, and adults should not have to serve as pilots. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think all the main characters, anyway, they're like in their 20s, I think, you know? They're not teenagers, but they're more like young adults, I guess. I imagine Luna Terra is much older, though. Anyway. It would be cruel to send children to fight a war so that adults don't have to, especially as adults have far more powerful tidal forces than children, okay? People have tidal forces, I guess, in this universe. I wonder how powerful my tidal force is, I don't know. Ooh. In their physical and metaphorical manifestation, tides are the measurement of the authority that culture has over the universe. A lot of jargon. The light of the soul that turns all impossible things into our dominion. Tides are like a measurement of the authority that like culture, aka society, has over the universe, maybe. I guess again, culture, it's not just society, I imagine. It's like something, I don't know, how do we call it? Something I don't know. I was gonna say real? It's not the word. I'm trying to think of a word. Like something you can touch, you know? Something like physical, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. The gravitational forces of children are weak enough to perceive and engage the existential threat without obliterating it instantly, and as a cancer that exerts a subtle influence in the back of our unknowing minds, they are suited to protect us from it. Okay, that's interesting. So, like, the reason why they were supposed to have young pilots anyway, was that they would be weak enough to actually observe, you know, the existential threat. If we're adults, you know, we would just destroy the existential threat before we even know it existed, I guess. Something like that. For this reason, the Memorial Foundation has pushed against traditional cultural institutions for engaging existential threats with this more humane practice, due to the resiliency of children and detrimental long-term effects contact with existential threats has on adults in the vast majority of cases. In some exceptional circumstances, contamination lingers in children. Their gravitational forces never achieve sufficient power to extinguish the existential threat without resistance. Without the tidal force to challenge other adults, they remain in limbo, unsuited to anything else. The remaining small percentage of the original pilot program that continues to reside in space is made of such cases. Okay, well, I guess that's a direct reference to the main characters of this visual novel. Pluto, Saturn, and Luna Terra. They were children, you know, they were test pilots, I guess, but then they were the ones that also had contact with the existential threats, and also has been contaminated by it as well, apparently. Still don't know I mean, I imagine it's meant to be super ambiguous. Existential threats. It's never gonna be like a real, definition of what it is, because that's not the point, I guess. It's this like weird thing that changes who you are, like reshapes your gravity, I guess. And it's probably the reason why the people who stay out in space, at least in this world, they change, right, in some way or another, I guess. And like in a very space, like a very like sci-fi way, like I guess changing your humanity or something. I don't know. They're not really specific of what it is. I think it's just something that you can't really have an analogy, I guess, of like in real life, or rather, it's simply an analogy. I don't know. Anyway, very confusing, world. Heaven will be mine. A newer version of proposal. Memorial Foundation Central Classified Extract. Celestial Mechanics. Thank you. I'm no different from my former colleagues. I think we all want the same thing. Ultimately, every one of us. I'd implore you to be forgiving of them, though not of their methods. Many of us are thankful for the ending of the Cold War. The paranoia and the suspicion that accompanied the strength of the existential threat in this world, as it fed on the trauma and malaise and discontent of the world after the war. But I think some of us must have had some reservation about the future. In abandoning existential threats to address the threats of our home, it will inevitably result in us turning to conflict between humans once more, and in turn the existential threat will thrive. We are looking for the smoothest, most uncontested future. I won't lie, this will not ensure happiness for everyone. In fact, it may be difficult to understate how much it will ensure the opposite for what we will ensure a very few. What I'm proposing will ensure the maximum happiness for the maximum number of people. And what else can we do? I assume this is like Epictetus, I've had to guess. This is like a message from Epictetus. Maybe. Comms. Do you think about Neef still? Neef? Who's Neef? That's out of nowhere. I think about them every day, obviously. They're the reason celestial mechanics exist. First to understand what happened to them, and then because we couldn't stop thinking about it. About how to make what happened to them happen to us. We still don't know what it was exactly. They had us all get together to reach space and time and contact the existential threat wherever it came from. Okay, so just to remind myself even, the three factions and their goals. The Memorial Foundation, the original Earthlings, I guess, who created the pilot program in the first place, they want to make everyone come back to Earth, and everything, and stop dealing with this space threat. Just come back to Earth and unify. Kratos Grace wants to move on because there's a bunch of people in space now, these pilots, who are actually more acclimated to space in both physical and psychological and social way, beyond just I guess physical forms. They just want to be in space because they're so used to it now. So they just want to create a new world, like a new Earth or something like that, with the gravity well. And what so the celestial mechanics, however, what they want to do is contact the existential threat for some reason or another to become something beyond humans. So instead of making a new world for another type of humans, they just want to be something else entirely. If I had to guess, I think that's what their goal is. Maybe. I don't know. To make sure that it truly had been defeated for good. I think they were really hoping it wasn't. We felt the same, especially us who never got to fight yet. We reached together as far as we could, and Neef reached farther than anyone. I didn't think it would have been them before anyone else, but I didn't know them. Was it that they reached too far? Or what? Or something reached to them? What's the difference? In the end, they got it. Whatever it was. Are you having second thoughts? Maybe. They were the only one. I always wondered why that was. Were they special? In a good way or a bad way? Were they chosen? What will be the criteria? We know it's none of that, though. Just a lonely, unchosen child. Without so little presence in this world, they fell into another one. That's how it is. The only trick is how to do it on purpose. That's just it. Are we too attached? I want to be something new and share it with everyone. Am I too heavy for the apple? Am I too heavy for the apple? What does that mean? That's so weird. I never heard of that phrase before. Am I too heavy for the apple? Huh? It's a thin line between falling into inverse because you have hope and because you don't have any left. We should be glad it's now so easy, you know? Now, that was a very serious discussion. It was very uncharacteristic, you know? All the time, I mean, the relationship Mercury and Saturn have is of someone who's just very incredulous of everything that Saturn does. And she just acts silly all the time and never really serious. But that was really actually serious, so there you go. The acceleration due to gravity. Actually, let me save. Did I save yet? I don't know if I did. Let me save again, just in case. Oop. Oop. Okay. We should select. Celestial mechanics and Kratos' graces have one thing in common, and that's escaping Earth's gravity. I guess free your soul from gravity's weight. To do that, they need Saturn and Pluto to work together to corrupt the lunar gravity well. It's an opportunity for one to get the upper hand over the other, but they're not thinking about it politically. Classic versus metal. How is the new equipment fitting? It's not that much weirder than how it was before. This mission is really a weird one, Mercury. This was always the plan, you know that. The lunar gravity well is the anchor that all tidal reactors resonate with. I believe, lunar, I think they mentioned before, it's on the moon. I mean, there's a lot of moons in the universe, but I guess it's the moon, Earth's moon, I guess. This is what they're all fighting for. It's how the ship cells maintain their form, how colonies on other planets and orbital bases and ships maintain environments humans can survive in. Okay. So, I don't know, for some reason, yeah, in this universe, the origin of all power, origin of all this, all this sci-fi stuff, it comes from the moon, somehow, I guess. It's like the origin of, this magic, maybe. There's a very fine line, or not fine line, but there's like a blurring, I guess, between the boundary between sci-fi and magic. They're kind of pretty similar, just in different different appearances, I guess. Anyway, gravity in both the literal and the figurative senses. Again, interesting. You can refer to gravity as a figurative. That's weird in real life anyway. Is required for us to live in space. And without it, we dissolve into the universe, become everything that humans aren't. There's a lot of that in the universe, if you've noticed. If we want to turn to something interesting and specific, we have to make sure that we're controlling the aversion process. Is it going to work? Probably not. I wouldn't trust Iptis to do this right. There's nothing in it for him, so why would he care? When he lived on Earth, he had everything he wanted. He isn't like anyone else who came to space. No, he's just flirting with the idea of transcending human limits for boring reasons, and only for his. There are no places left on Earth to conquer, so he wants to be the first to own the future. If this actually works, I don't want to share it with him. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I told you I was playing this how I wanted, right? I'm not letting him have this. Okay. Saturn tempts Pluto to fall in with her, or Pluto tempts Saturn to entertain a silly dream. So again, the way we've been going, I think we're gonna choose, again, this one. Yeah, betray. Betray. The moon's south pole is the completion point for Earth, where all of the terraforming begins and ends. Here, the skyscrapers rise up to catch the eternal light in what someday will be a city where night never comes. I was wondering, a lot of these colonies and planets we kind of go to, I guess most of them are ruins. There's no people in it. I was wondering how much people are in space, in this visual novel. Is it just a few people from the pilot program, or is it actually full on countries worth of people, actually on these colonies surrounding the solar system? You know what and everything. I mean, it's supposed to be like a war, even though we learn, in Lunaterra's it's not really a war. It's kind of like, just like a cleanup mission for Earth, I guess. But like, if it is like a typical war, you think there'll be a lot of people, from both sides, and you don't really see a lot of mention of them. I guess you see a lot of mention from Earth, but you don't really see a mention from, who the Celestial Mechanics. You hear some like specific characters, I guess, but you don't really hear about like the population. Like where do they live exactly? I guess maybe they mentioned it. I think in the Kratos Graces they mentioned that like maybe a group of people living in some other colony. I don't remember exactly though. Anyway. You're quiet. Is there something on your mind? A lot. Well, nothing important. Don't hide it from me. I can just read it off your gravitational field, right? Huh. Are you sure? You're never normally this quiet. Good to know that even you can feel that way sometimes. But I didn't think it would be over this. The gravity well can't be that big of a deal for someone like you to deal with. And I'm here too, in case you forgot. Feeling out the tides is deeper than mind reading, and not so literal, and you know that. That kind of mind reading is the kind every human can do, but few are any good at. What kind is that? Read my mind about it. Are you nervous? No. I know exactly what I'm doing. I just wish everyone wasn't going to be watching us this whole time. I hate getting yelled at for no reason. Don't you have people who are a pain in the ass to keep happy? That's everyone in Kratos Graces. Plus, they love me, which makes it so hard. Well, that's why I ditched command. I couldn't stand being pestered constantly by superiors who don't know what they're talking about. I don't have any superiors at all. What? Lucky. Why? Because I'm at the top. Excuse me? I'm the manager. I want to talk to a manager. I'm the manager. I'm the leader of Kratos Graces, more or less. Excuse me? What? Why? For a lot of reasons. But mostly because no one else wants to be. Oh, Dr. Nix is in charge of most things still, but I do make the decisions. Okay, so Dr. Nix... Well, they mentioned it before, but I guess... Dr. Nix is definitely on Kratos Grace's side, I guess. That's probably another person we might learn about if we go through Pluto's route, which I'll probably do next, after Saturn's route. Right? I mean, but why? You're as bad as Mars. This is why it's so hard to get anything done. Kratos Grace is just full of contradictory, impossible to reconcile, naive and disorganized feelings. Someone has to bring all of that together. No, stop. I mean, why would you tell me that? I mean, should I take advantage of this? Oh, I thought you just wanted to get to know me better, not engage in any of that cloak and dagger stuff. You're crazy. Why would you trust me? I'm sketchy. No, you're not. You're obnoxious to your friends, but you work hard all the time for their sake. You bullied a certain taciturn ace pilot, not because you hated her, because you wanted her to grow up and stop wasting her talent on moping. You're always tempting me to your side, but you don't care if I join the Celestial Mechanics or not. Also, you asked me how I was doing, if I was nervous, and told me you're here for me on a difficult mission, even though you tried to make it sound you were lording it over me. So, I mean, in summary, does that mean Saturn is just simply tsundere? I don't know. Anyway, so what do you really care about? That you keep coming after me whether you win or lose? Not telling. But that's fine. You don't need to say anything to me for me to understand. I need to shut my mouth or I'll keep stuttering and embarrassing myself. Don't tell me that this whole time you've just been playing along like, I give up on being cool, it doesn't matter. No wait, it doesn't matter. I worked so hard to try to corrupt this good little pilot test brat of Kratos Graces. But don't be sad about still being a good girl. It's a really hard habit to break. I'm the real fool though. I saw right through you, and it worked on me just the same. I completely fell for it. Oh, we're almost there. Let's be careful, okay? The slim tower, the tallest on the moon, ends in a point, and suspended above is the overpowering gravity well, claiming humanity's spot on the moon, a saved seat in the cosmos. It will fall inert to the surface when culture is so fully rooted in the moon that the planet will produce a true human gravity. Then this body will no longer be Luna, but fully and truly the moon, just as Terra became Earth when humanity was born there. Okay, it's interesting, like, So in this universe, from what I've gathered, a lot of the planets we see in the solar system, I guess because, you gotta remember this is like an alternate future as well, around like after the Cold War. So maybe that's when like space travel was like, still a new thing as well. So unlike in real life, where we simply just name the planets as they were, the planets in this solar system, I imagine, were called something else, and they were only called, for example, like, the planets we know now in real life, they're only called that after humanity has claimed it, and everything is actually ready for them to actually live on, I guess. That's why, it's lunar right now, but when, humanity has claimed it, it then will truly be called the moon, I guess. And Altera became Earth, okay? Kind of weird though, but then I don't know. Maybe it's just like it's just like a thing, but like all of the characters are also just named after like planets as well. So I don't know. Luna Terra in particular. I mean, she's called Luna Terra, but she's not like because unlike I guess Saturn and Pluto, those are like names of like planets we know. But Luna Terra isn't really a planet, She's not even like in this universe. Not even like, I guess, doesn't have enough humanity, I guess, or culture to be even named after a real thing. I don't know. Anyway, yet the gravity well can also be the seed of possibility. It doesn't have any preconceptions about what humans can be or should be. There's still time. Begin full output. Resonance handshake seeking. Acknowledge. Handshake received. Oscillating, rotating, responding. I am trying to seduce you though. Endpoint received. Synchronization complete. Aligned rotations. Acceleration high. Still acceptable. I just don't understand how you can be this strong and amazing and still wasted on all of them. Tidal resonance achieved. Brace for resonance feedback. So tell me, why do you waste so much of your time pestering pilots like Luna Terra and me? Because you're the main characters, we're trying to seduce you? I don't know. There's only 3 characters in this game, we're just trying to like make out with each other, so I mean... Tidal resonance far beyond predicted levels. Begin bracing. Hold the course steady for insertion. That's dodging the question. Waves crashing, intensifying resistive force. It's not. You're not really any different. You care what happens to everyone in space too. Even fools like us deserve a chance at what they want. The part that makes me angry is how they won't just take what they want. If Earth has abandoned us, why go through so much trouble to reconcile with them? Resistance is incredible. The core is hyper-suspension is refusing to decouple. Just suddenly, because they're talking like in 2 ways. They're talking about like, as in like a conversation, but also they're talking about the gravity well, I guess. Maximum output, bending space, culture, time, dilating possibility. Leaving humanity behind out of spite, just to prove how much I don't care about them makes it sound like you actually do care about others, but it's really cute how you're trying. I am loyal to us, that's all. The space orphans, the lab girls, and fuck everyone else. No love lost, none owed to anyone else. That's what I'm the leader of. Beginning insertion, breaking first through 50 of seals. I want a breakup. If humanity wants us back, they should come crawling and beg us to forgive them. You of all people shouldn't be the one saving them. Rapid destabilization, action needed. Are you really okay with all of us in space having a chance at that future, but no one on Earth? I, of all people, know what it will be like to never have that. Ranking seals 50 through 1000. Requesting overload, bypass permission. I'm not a good and noble person, my heart's not big enough. Attempting again. Fine. Here's a real secret just for you, okay? Since you told me yours, I would never forgive the world. But if my master plan doesn't work, I follow you wherever. Bracing. Gravitational output maximum. Thank you, really, Saturn. I wouldn't have this much fun without you. Thanks for giving me room in your heart. Less dramatic status updates that sound like you're gonna die. Core pierce. Heavy damage to upper arm. Insertion activating. Sustained damage increasing. Holding until countdown begins. For being so stubborn, even so, you make me falter just a bit. Just a little. I can't be that invisible. I'm just a little lab rat. Lab brat. It's a funny, it's kind of like a pun, lab rat, lab brat. Reaction confirmed. Are you ready for everything? Or rather, that was Saturn. Ready for everything? Saturn. Confirm Roche? Limit escape. Negative. It's messing up the math. Calculations keep changing. Immediate escape is necessary before the micro black hole is formed. Can't. Calculating. Focus on my voice. It's not time for you to join the inverse yet. Gravity, like a warm embrace and not just mine, wants you here. Back to your home with mine. Almost. All of the equipment is destroyed. Both of them are badly damaged, but they're not dead. I assume they're trying to control the gravity well on the moon is what they're doing. And the tiny black speck pulsing within the containment field. A strange gravity washes over the moon and many things are possible. A level playing field. A new playground. Okay, so they did that. Oh, interesting. It's just the next day already. Okay. Interesting. Because I think I missed the mission, right? No, okay, never mind. For some reason I thought I missed the mission. No, okay. I don't know why, but I thought I somehow skipped the Luna Terra, mission. But no, I didn't do that. That didn't happen. This is the same as always. You always progress a day after that. Let's see. Why children? Okay, the same subject, but different origin, I guess. Pilot program training documentation, author Memorial Foundation Native Spheres Archives. By the end of the space program, with recruitment having stopped almost a decade before the official decommissioning of the space program, all the pilots had become adults. Yet they were recruited as children and spent the first years of fighting against the existential threat as children. Sounds like an anime. Much like criticisms levied at the scout programs on Earth, it was a motion that Memorial Foundation considered heavily in deciding how to recruit their pilots. Children have no special piloting qualities, of much weaker tidal authority than the adults, who of course have the tidal authority to engage other adults. I can't read. Adults will be stronger, more powerfully able to use ship cells, much more so, the beloved and chosen adults rather than the discarded and flawed children that were chosen. On Earth, adults with much stronger tidal forces than children will destroy the existential threat before even comprehending it, and because of this, those threats are able to hide in the world and prey on those who are more weak, such as children or those who are unchosen even as adults. Those who are strong enough should struggle with other humans, and those who are weaker protect the rest from trivial threats outside humanity. Sustained contact with the existential threat often exacerbates this effect, and there is a cold twofold reason for delegating who will and who will not confront existential threats. Children and the unchosen bear the burden, so adults will not be worn away. Okay, it's a little hard to deconstruct. So again, more references to the existential threat and why we don't use, we're not supposed to anyway, send adults to fight these existential threats, I guess. Not good for them. So we use children instead, is the idea. But we're still taking a risk, because they can also be corrupted for some reason. I don't know. Even unchosen, even as adults. Unchosen. It's kind of I'm thinking for example, adults who just never grow up, I guess, mentally or something. I don't know. Toms, everything is ready for you. I wish you had let me help you more. And you'll be fine back home. Without a ship. I envy you a little bit. Piloting is for girls and jocks. It's not my thing. But I wish I was coming with you. Sometimes. A very, very tiny bit. Mercury. We are very different. But I love you. We're parts of the same thing. We wanted the same things. And I'll walk alongside you until we get them. Really? You're not leaving? Possibly forever? If I'm leaving, you're coming with me. If I stay, I'll bring you home. You can't rely on me for anything, but you can count me on this, or count on me for this. I promise. I promise. Oh, proper grammar and spelling, amazing. You promise with correct punctuation and capitalization? So you know it's real. Oh no, she was just pretending to be dumb this whole time. What else can I do to pay you back? Nothing. I count on you for a lot, Saturn. The same way you count on me. Okay. Also, she looks a lot. I mean, for some reason, she looks a lot different as Avatar. I think it's because of the hair. Like she's covering one eye. Does she always do that? I don't know. It just looks longer to me for some reason. I guess she always does that. She always covers one eye. I don't know. For some reason, her avatar in the chat, in the chat room is much. I feel like it's different than her like actual face, but maybe it's just from a different angle. Slightly different. Plastic versus metal. Earth has promised letting children space sort themselves out, but then the machines of war, those weird drone things, I guess. And then they meet in a chance encounter. Launch. Spinning up tidal reactor. Frequency double checks. First turn. 100%. Frequency double checks. Second turn. Stop and spin them again. From 0? Again? Where were they at? 99.99999%, but it doesn't matter. This should be a 100%, so we're spinning them again. Mercury, if I go out and die, it's not gonna be because we didn't quintuple check every reactor pulse. Saturn, this time, could you listen for once? No matter how useless I know that telling you this is, I know I say this over and over, but can you listen? Seriously, tell me you're not gonna not be risky this time? It's not a game anymore. This mission is different. It's not ship self to ship self. Those troops are real weapons from Earth, designed for threats that are real, not existential. I guess, yeah, the drones, by the way, were kind of like foreshadowed, actually. In one of the messages, I believe, from Lunaterra, they mentioned like a weapon that would shoot like lasers, that would actually destroy people in the ship cells. I guess that's what it is. They actually meant it. They actually invented it. They are perfectly capable of killing. They're designed for no other purpose. That's not going to even be an issue though, because your orders are strictly to observe and not get remotely close enough to engage. They won't leave stationary orbit around the near side of the moon. They're Earth's insurance plan, and we can ignore them as soon as we make sure that's all they're doing. Don't joke about dying. That can't happen. I won't if everything is perfect and you do exactly what you're supposed to. It finally matters this time, and you? Mercury. Mercury, please. Well, I'm actually really sorry, Mercury. I didn't mean to make you worry. I didn't mean to make you really worry for real. I promise I'm not trying to die, okay? I promise. Making poor choices about who to kiss and what to do isn't the same thing. I listen to you when it's for real, okay? I wouldn't cross the line. You're my friend, no one else. No one else is worth you. You're the most important. We've been through too much. I wouldn't ever go back, or throw everything we've got away. You know that, right? Sorry I'm acting like I forgot. Mercury, hey, say something. Being serious is weird. You idiot. Give me a minute. When I see the ring. Damn it, I was gonna act like I tricked you. I was gonna feel smug, making you think everything was serious. I was gonna lord it over you. But now I'm crying, asshole. Sorry about that. But I love you too, don't worry. Okay. Well, when I was Lunaterra, we did the whole hide together in the peaceful moon's winter night, but this time, risk dying, haha! Risk dying, we just went through all that, but then actually, we're just gonna risk dying, why not? Tearing that machine to pieces, go! Wow, it seems almost like it can't be a coincidence of bumping into you again. Fancy seeing you here. A likely story, but please stay down, it's closing in. That thing wants to murder us very badly. It wants to kill. And by the way, yeah, the drones kind of remind me of. A lot of. It's probably intentional, maybe, but it reminds me of the ball. The sphere weapons, I guess, space balls in Gundam, actually, which is very similar. Like literally, like a ball thing that has like a gun attached to it and shoots lasers. It's like a thing in Gundam as well. Yep, aren't you itching to fight it? Oop. The autonomous military unit is waiting for opportunities, it seems, but it's really just reacting to conditions and responding with protocol. It's inevitability, gravity, law. Humans can be pretty unambiguous, which is why if you want something done precisely, you must teach it only a sliver what humans know. If you want someone dead without complication, you need to remove nuance first. It doesn't have any kind of morality system or decision-making process. It's very non-discriminatory. Just gravity and nothing else. It's a gun and not much else. So maybe you should stop harassing it so much. Or maybe you should stop harassing it so much. It's annoying though, I want to bully it. I promised that I wouldn't tangle with something if it really was life or death. But now that I'm here, I'm too tempted. I just absolutely want to tear it to pieces. Completely destroy it like it wants to destroy me. You ever feel like that? Even when you're terrified? I mean, that's pretty psychotic, I don't know. Especially then. But it's not worth fighting. Not at all. Even a little. It's like fighting gravity or a whole planet. What can you call winning against something like that? There are a million more. You can't have a real argument with something like that. They sent autonomous troops because they didn't want to have one in the first place. It just goes to show they really don't care what happens to space or anyone in it. Or they do, and they want this badly to believe they don't. You're going to hate this, but that makes me wish I could crush them even more. Sorry. There has to be a way, right? Unlike a ship cell, the autonomous military unit doesn't have a shape that remotely resembles a person. There's no need for that, obviously. You would give something a human shape only if you wanted it to be able to express the fullness of being a human. War has never been fought like that. Military technology is designed to narrow available resources in order to efficiently execute a single specific function. Giant robots have never been practical for war. So you say that to Gundam, or like any kind of like sci-fi anime giant robots. Which, well, I was wondering though, because I don't know, I wish they did more with, I guess it's not the point, you know, but still, I kind of wish they did more with like war, you know, just in general. Like war, like being a soldier and like, you know, and the psychological trauma, like being a soldier and everything. That's kind of what I liked about Gundam as well, you know. Because I believe Mobile Suit Gundam was one of the first anime, like in history, that was focused on robots, as in like not superheroes, but actual just like cold, like mechanical military weapons and everything, right? And all the like themes of war that go with that. That's what I find, you know, interesting in Gundam. And I feel like in Heaven Will Be Mine, they don't really go into that all that much, but oh well, I guess. I wish they did more of that, but what can you do? What is necessary is a single vector pointed in an uncertain, inflexible, fixed direction. The autonomous military unit may not look human, but it is human. A single, uncomplicated human thought. Die. Shine. I'm worried that telling you this will just encourage you, so I shouldn't. It feels like a bad idea. But they're not invisible or almighty against us, even if they're incredibly, overwhelmingly powerful. Especially here, in the liminal zones of the moon, but not ever, not anywhere. It's nice to hear, even if you get mad about it. I understand the math. We're risking our lives and our personhood, and they're not. It's very one-sided. Humans are cowards. And that makes me want to fight even more. I'm saying it's not worth it. The statement will be lost on Earth. They've got an endless number of drones. But you can destroy them, right? I'm not asking if there's a point. I don't care about that. I'm asking if we can. Let me know how you did it, right? Because you have. You really don't know, Saturn. You just don't. And you never will. You can wish and fight, but Earth will never let us go. 9.8 m/s squared. Okay, I'm gonna look this up now. I didn't look it up last time, but I'm gonna look it up now. I wanna see what it actually is. Also, when I click out the game, you know, the music stops, which is kind of annoying because I want the music to keep playing. Now it's just silence in the background, but let's see. 9.8 m. And search on Google right now because I want to know what that even is. So 9.8 meters per second. It's the standard acceleration of gravity. Okay, so it's the gravity of Earth, I believe, or maybe not Earth, but like just in general, just standard gravity. Normal gravitational acceleration of an object in a vacuum near the surface of the Earth, okay, is defined by the standard as 9.80665 m divided by s squared, I guess. How do you say it? Like meters? I guess it's meters per second, right? I assume so. Meters per second. Okay, makes sense. For some reason, when I first read it, I said milliseconds. That's not right. I don't know. I just like the first thing I thought when I see ms, I think milliseconds. But no, it's 9.8 rounded up, I guess, or rounded down maybe, meters per second squared. That is simply the gravity of Earth. Okay. I mean, I probably, someone who's, I guess, smarter than me would have figured that out, instantaneously instead of me just have to Google it. But there you go. That's what Lunaterra was talking about, because it was mentioned a handful of times in her route. So, I mean, it makes sense. It's just referring to gravity. 9.8 millimeters per second squared is what we're bound to. Your weight and mine are nothing compared to that speed. We can't even scratch the surface. But you're right. It was stupid. When I was with Kratos' Graces, I destroyed one. Oh, okay. They existed before then. I thought they were like a recent invention, but actually they were a thing, back then, I guess. Because remember, Lunaterra, her backstory is that she actually betrayed Earth for like a little bit and then came back, I guess. Pluto made me promise to never risk my life over something like that again. That's a huge brag, but given all that, kind of a crazy thing to do. Why? Not that I think it doesn't roll. I was feeling the same way you were feeling. Pure spite. I'm not quite as bad anymore. At least, I'm trying not to be. I know that feeling. It's easy to bet your life when you don't care whether you lose it or not. If we fight together, we'll be betting on each other. It doubles the risk, and there's still no point. Is there really no point to it, though? Useless. Okay, that's true, but not pointless. You're so clever, Lunaterra, but you have outsmarted yourself, and now you're believing there's no meaning in fighting against that blind and unstoppable force. I definitely know what battles I want to fight. The senseless eye of the autonomous weapon fixates on their location, but the string of pearls doesn't give it the time to get inquisitive. Saturn's closing the distance, cheating distances. It reflexively attempts to close distance too, but its calculations seem to be constantly just off. Saturn, come back. What did I say? Were you listening to yourself? Aren't we doing this? Are you gonna prove my point or what? It's no big deal for you, right? If you've done it before, right? It'll be twice as easy now. Don't make me fight it alone, that'll be fucked up. It'll be heroic if it's the two of us, so come on, enable me. Don't you want me to not end up like you? Don't you want to not end up like you? The autonomous military unit is extremely simple. It fires a simple burst of metal directly at a cockpit. Particle unaffected by gravity, instantly lethal. It takes all the drama and expression out of fighting. The ultimate anti-climax. That's why true combat is ugly, arbitrary, horrifying. A struggle for power in absolute terms, not a romance, like fighting in a perfect body can be. It's only because you did something so stupid that I'm joining you. A blue elusive streak, unmistakable but impossible to pin down, follows Saturn. Liar. Fake. Hypocrite. You never smiled as much before as you right now. Against even a single autonomous unit, not dying starts out hard and keeps getting harder. Saturn can cheat the distance, it's the reason she isn't instantly dead. Their targeting is flawless and predictive, based on clear indentations made in space, time, and culture by gravity. But Saturn just cheats. Every time she changes the math, and every time it adjusts to correct, and keeps getting smarter and harder. Still, Saturn does the math better than it can. What a hacker. VAC. VAC, Valve Anti-Cheat. Lunaterra will die if she thinks to herself about what's happening for even a single second, so she doesn't. She verbs instead. Do this, do that. Make it real, make it happen. Don't think or blink. She verbs instead. Interesting use of the word. She verbs. I will verb. I will not noun. I will verb. I will not adjective. I will verb. Simply and possibly, always be doing, always be being. Don't get hit and never die. Nothing like life or death to remind you that being alive is great. In that state you can become infinitely capable of fighting tooth and nail, no matter what. When Mayor Christian's heart like slugs hit the unit's chassis, it miscalculates, dips in motion, but is undeterred. It can endure much more than that. Lunaterra respects that and fires 12 dozen more, as point blank as possible. No time for mercy, so increase the output more than should be possible. Defensive insulation keeps it protected from the string of pearls' electrotoxins. All the string of pearls can leave is a series of bleeding, oozing, hot pink pinpricks. Nothing but scratches, until there are so many of them that aren't just scratches anymore. There's no limit to how mean she can get. It's something else, fighting like this. I wasn't ready. You're doing amazing. You're unreal. You have to be. Otherwise, you're dead. Don't let up. Don't stop and keep going. It's the only way. Every approach and hit counts. You've got to be perfect. The autonomous military unit is fast. Faster than either of them. But isn't faster than coincidence. It's not fast enough to predict someone who's not even thinking, and it's not faster than cheating. Saturn works her whole hand into its guts and comes out with a fistful. Censored. It has dozens of redundant components, designed to withstand unreal trauma and continue fighting, but there's a slight delay as the fail-safes switch circuits. That moment is time enough for Lunaterra to plunge her iridescent blade into flailing sensors that burn into white light. Even torn in half, ripped apart both ways apart by a division of light and dark undone, the autonomous unit still moves. The only way they will win is to be completely thorough. Pull the guts out every which way, never show mercy, and never let go, until they've bathed in it head and toe. And at the end, they don't even realize when the moment came that they were still alive, that they even had won. Okay. Very like, I don't know, this is like they're ripping up like meat or something when it's just a robot. What's up, Wazabiz? What am I saying? Wazabiz. Hello. Just playing this visual novel. Heaven will be mine. It's a little confusing, to be honest. I think I'm near the end of the second route. Pretty close. We're probably getting an ending here. Soonish. Anyway. Are you finally satisfied? God, it was worse than I remembered. I wonder, is that? I mean, it feels like this visual novel is like everything's a metaphor. Was that a metaphor for something as well? Like ripping the guts out of like an autonomous drone? I don't know what that means. That would be an analogy for it. I don't know. I have no idea how I did it alone. I feel incredible, beyond satisfied. If I didn't feel almost dead, I'd be begging you to do that all over again. I knew it just encouraged you. Shows the good it did. You know, Lunaterra, I'm fighting. No matter what, no matter who wins. I know the best I can hope for is half of what I want. But I'm not here for a realistic outcome. Even if that's all we get, I'm just going to fight, forever, with perfect greed, until I get everything. I don't know if I can be that cool. When it comes down to it, I won't stop either. Okay. That's the end of that scene. And probably this will be the last day, actually. Probably. Wazabix? Where am I from? What do you mean? I'm from Earth, you see. I mean, probably you mean like country, I guess? I'm from Canada, I guess. I'm from Canada, you know? Like, oh, Canada. Anyway. What is this? What is this, Saturn? So this is Epitus. The person that was been mentioning, you know, has been mentioned the whole time, and everyone hates him, I guess. The bad ending. For you. Well, it's a bad ending for you. You did this. Ah, I'm blushing. I didn't think you'd let me take credit. I'm still all ears, though. Go ahead and tell me about how I don't know what I'm doing, and how I can't possibly understand the consequences. It was a little bit of an accident, honestly. But it's not like I didn't understand what I was doing. You knew all along I didn't have any loyalty. But you thought you could trick me into doing what you wanted anyway. So should you really be surprised things turned out this way? You knew it was a possibility, right? You know, don't you, that this ending will be infinitely worse for you than it will be for me. The splitting of humanity. Very well. I know that's of little concern to you. What comes next will be a true war, and in that will be insurmountable. If humanity can't be reconciled, and the enemy cannot be banished, you will be cut out like a cancer. You know, I'm not really an optimist. I don't have any of that hope for the future. But you know, if you are betting on me being spiteful enough to throw away humanity completely, you can bet I'm spiteful enough to prove you wrong. And the world you despise could be real. What's that emote? Pof smile? Oh yeah, it's the meme where you like, it's the weird meme emo where you have a face but you take out the nose, I guess, and you exaggerate the eyes and mouth. Anyway, it looks weird. Let's see. I wonder what ending. I mean, I assume we get like a specific ending because we've been fraternizing, I guess, with Pluto specifically. So we're getting like a Pluto ending. Is that what it is? Let's see. The Kratos Grace's fleet is small and weak and desperate. With the dream of space dying, there's no time left, no chances left. The decision has already been made. Humans don't need space. It's one thing to go home, another to leave forever. Both of those are just up to those of us in space. Neither of those requires strength to pull humanity from its cradle. That's a strength that no one has, and no one should even pretend that they have strength for it. With all of Kratos Grace's hopes and dreams, Pluto will still try. The pilots bow out as the conclusion of the conflict becomes evident. No, it is now truly a war because the autonomous military units have been arrayed against her for her transgression. This is no longer a fight between the humans of space, but a war with the Earth. The autonomous units ready their weapons and in unison they fire to kill. As if their trajectories bend away from Pluto, blushing at the sight of her, they refuse to meet her gaze, as expected. Makela will convert the gravity well directly into the space and time and culture necessary for the future, and they will steal that future from her piece by piece by piece. This is unexpected, but not unprepared for, so Wave 2. Wave 3. Wave 4. Wave 10, a lot of waves. Wave 36, a new high score. Wave 150, this is just a survival mode now. Wave 460. Wave 1000. Wave 4000, 4,569. They know she's not invisible, they know her real truth, but no one who loves her can see. They have the patience and power to take it apart piece by piece. They will strip her down atom by atom, if they have to, until she loses mass and gravity and becomes only a girl again. Pluto wouldn't mind if they were trying to kill her, but they have a much more important thing to kill. Kratos Grace's future. The future of humanity as we know it depends on it. Without they'll annihilate hers without hate, with only human efficiency and uncomplicated thoughts in mind. Join us or leave us. Only through an autonomous proxy can Earth give up on the inexhaustible empathy of the human soul. Only through a proxy can Earth divorce itself from the longing that Memorial Foundation had fought on behalf of, to value their own life above all else. They will do anything, everything, to protect themselves from death, especially at their own hands. For ship cells can only change others and never kill, but that is the fear of Earth above all else. The flawed, pathetic conscience of humanity, playing catch-up to its own mistakes, doing more harm than good. So heavy even Pluto can't bear it. How can she not respond to their pathetic, self-destructive feelings? How can she say no when they need her so much? She can't. Acceleration tearing through space-time, crashing through the autonomous units at impossible speeds. Solid light, white and gold, bent and bleeding lance. Lunaterra understands, over many years, after much training and teaching, with dynamic technology, how to speak the word no. And her spear can write it, and it does. Sorry. You really should be. You really don't have any mercy. You really need to learn how to hold other people's feelings. I'm sorry for not knowing a better way to do it. But I'm not sorry for doing it. I don't care how they feel, I just care about you. The autonomous units fall into disarray. They don't know how to match her speed. Lunaterra rejects her attempts to comprehend her. Okay, so again, like, I imagine all of the main pilots come together again. Lunaterra is destroying a bunch of the drones, I imagine. You're the worst. What am I gonna do with you? I didn't even want you to do that. Sorry, I did what I wanted to. You do the same for me, even in my foolish future. If they can pull on her empathy for Earth, they can also tug her desire to be free, and celestial mechanics has so many ways. Though this one is called aversion impulse. Ipetus despises fighting, and he never wanted to develop the ship cells. He would prefer a simpler and less vulgar solution that didn't require bodies at all of any kind. He's the first betrayer of Celestial Mechanics' dream for a new kind of body, but he understood it because everyone can understand the dream to leave these bodies. And that was the name he gave to the instinct that drives humans to abandon what is for what could be, the inside-out impulse. There's still time for his masterwork. Pluto can be that linchpin if she's pushed far enough in the gravity's Schwarzschild radius. I don't know what that means. Just a random turn you never saw before. Expands to the point at which you cannot escape. Past the limit at which point humans can no longer exchange information. Past the limit by which it becomes impossible to regard each other as human. Ippitus loves win-win scenarios. Okay, so imagine Ippitus is also getting in on the, the party, I guess, somehow. He wants, like, the gravity well to be out of control, I guess, and consume Pluto or something. Humanity's discarded children will be free of their obligations to be human. Humanity will have a physical, unified enemy to chase through their pursuit of space. And Ippitus will have sown the seeds for a single, binding, unified culture theory. A white void that will bend the universe to a single set of physical laws. A simple process of autonomous drones injecting degenerate mass into the gravity well is all that is necessary, as long as Ippitus holds Pluto off personally in his Rolls-Sivox Terra, okay? I assume that's his ship self. He even has a plan for Saturn, should she choose just this moment to betray him. A perfect plan. Like deactivating my access permissions remotely through a back door. Okay. Overwhelming me with a mass production string of Pearl series. Averting my gravity reactor through the Runavix Terra's albedo separation system. Oh, and even more plans than that. You're really so predictable. Adapting backdoor access to self-shifts in Pearl. Nope. Of course you have a solution for every contingency. Unable to find. Actor switch, activate mass production string Pearl series 0113. You're so stupid. I don't have to outsmart every single one of your genius ideas. So he orders a few different string of Pearl series 0113. Runavix Terra is designated as their primary target. Just one of them should be more than enough, but I really thought you deserved their full attention. Hey Pluto, unlike LT, I'm not even the slightest bit sorry. It is extremely dumb to fight for a stupid future all by yourself. So thank me from the bottom of your heart for coming to believe in it with you. Praise me for obeying what you never asked me to do. Love me for believing in you. Of course. I really do. All my love and thanks and praises for you. I won't even pretend to be mad at you. Not like Lunatera then? I'm still connected. We know. Back to the topic at hand. It's the final battle, Lunatera. There's no room to retreat. Oh no, so bad for her. We really should... You think the end of the world's enough of an excuse to change the subject? It should be. It won't be the end of the world. The gravity well is open, but it's not sustainable for long. Whatever you're playing, you need to do it now. Or you need to do it soon, rather. You're both so precious to me, and you should know that even together you cannot stop me. Hey, don't just fucking ellipses. I thought you were going to convince her. I have to do this because I believe in it too. The Dr. Nix was willing to sacrifice the Earth, and I'm not. No matter what it costs. Kratos Graces never wanted independence for space. They wanted all humans to embrace it. Zeon? Very similar. The solution is to destabilize the Earth's gravitational field until human life is no longer possible there and force adaptation to space. Saving humanity against their own will, maybe, and destroying yourself in the process. No way! Nix doesn't even know what she's talking about. Okay? I just don't know who Dr. Nix is, so I guess she's a woman. Just from that, I guess. You're throwing yourself away in a dream that won't come true. And you're chiding me for not going in on my own future. The possibility lines have closed. There's no chance of good future since before we started. It's too sad. That's why I have to stand with Dr. Nix's dream. Humans deserve some kind of real hope. And this is as close to it as I can offer her. Well, how mad would you be at us if we stop you? I'd never be mad at you, even if you could. For humans to be caught halfway between space and the Earth is the worst of all bad futures. It will split us in half, and that will mean war. It's the future of external war, or eternal war rather, not external. Of a true war, not this, where zero-G keeps our bodies immortal and unrestricted. I mean, if we really did declare independence from Earth, wouldn't they see how cool we are and come up anyway? It's their choice, you know. You can't make it up for them. That's their problem. You two really put up a fight. For a moment, I almost believed you. I really thought you might be able to stop me. Well, Mayor Christian's spine is broken, and the string of pearls is subdivided to so many components its reassembly time is weeks out. Okay, both of the robots just exploded. Can't blame us for trying. I wouldn't have been able to do anything else. I really hate this. It's time to... The interfacer is... broken? Oh, thank God. I thought you missed. You didn't make the shot easy. I can't control the lunar gravity event anymore. I don't know what's going to happen. What can I do? Sorry, we didn't think that far ahead. We just wanted you to decide, not Dr. Nix. If you can't have everything, what is the thing you really want? I don't know what kind of future we're gonna get. I'm not working with much. Anything you do is fine, if it's you. Don't listen to her, just figure out something that doesn't suck. The three compress, redivide, expand. The simplest childish thought grasps Pluto, bubbles up within her, and she says it before she can stop herself. I want us to be together forever. In our beautiful shapes in space. Free. With everyone. Of course, it is impossible. Not enough people will believe in it. Earth is the primary body of this system, and the medium point between our gravity and its gravity is still deep within the Earth. Yet they cannot pull us down anymore. That will never happen. We are still in space, and our future is so uncertain, if we can even sustain it, but... I declare war on Earth! Okay. Come get us again, or come get us again, come find us again. I dare you, challenge you, to prove it once again. What foolishness. Humanity will happily oblige, yet they find that their autonomous troops are crushed before they can reach us. This is why they just crayon drawings. I guess these are the three robots, by the way. This is, Saturn's robot. What do you call it? I can't forget what their whole robot's name is. I know this is the Crun Macula, and this is the Mare Crucium, I guess. What's the... I just forgot for some reason. Like, Saturn's like giant robot. Not the name, anyway. Humanity will have to fight us again, on our terms this time. Fight us like children fight. Again, with bodies of plastic. Pretend. If you want to fight us, you have to be like us. I'm too cynical for an idealistic dream. Too ambitious for a modest dream. I also think love is a stupid reason to do anything. You should never ditch your own dream to be with someone else. That's just going to poison you. If you're lucky, you'll poison the other one too, but what I really mean is, doing something for love should be doing something, or doing something for love should be doing something you love. Okay? Not hoping love will find its way to what you do, so you can stay in love with someone else. I am, however, stupid. So this doesn't make sense. Don't stop me. But I do think I wouldn't believe in them if I didn't love them. Actually, I wouldn't love them if I didn't believe in them. I believe. And therefore, with that love, I'm gonna go ahead and let them try. I'm on the side of the alien. I will always argue for that. I think that'll keep them honest. I mean, I can't say that I don't want to believe. Keep convincing me and I'll stick around. Make the future worth it for me. Okay, I assume that's it. That's the ending. Or there might still be more today. Let's bet against that. I'm tired. They'll catch us off guard. So stay in your ship cell. You want to laze around still in your ship? Why not? Does it feel as nice? It's different, but it's better. You can't feel anything? Still got a lot to learn, Ace. Maybe I do. Let Pluto teach you. I'm taking a nap. No, you're helping. I'm tired. Shut up. So she says, before she stretches out on the yellow-red carpet of Venus's jungles. Okay, so they're on Venus now, they're on a different planet. She doesn't go so instantly to sleep. There's room for both of them on Pluto's lap, which is an advantage of living in your ship cell. You can do things that you normally couldn't, even if other things are harder. Harder doesn't mean impossible, it just means you have to work for it, to figure out how to make it real. Learning a new language that your new body speaks, okay? So everyone's just living in their giant robots, I guess. Moments like these are rare, since we began a war against Earth, though we're quick to remind each other it's not really a war, the way that war used to be. Not the hard clash of steel and lead, but the pliant pressure of plastic and light. Venus's heat melts their metal before they can make it here. When Earth wants to fight, they have to send softer bodies after us. Okay. So if I had to guess, in this ending, they use the gravity well to make a new planet, I guess? You know, a livable planet for them, in particular, in their ship cells. And that, a planet where they can't just send, like, drones to fight them, you know? It doesn't work. They have to send, well, more ship cells, probably. Maybe. The punishment is we deserved for being unable to reconcile is this half-real solar system. The forests are still struggling on Mars, but we're trying hard, and the jungles of Venus are growing so nicely, except they're too wild to give us room. The silken mosses that grow along the rings of Saturn allow for a very fragile, delicate sort of life. Okay. So it's like, well, actually every planet is kind of like that as well. All the other planets that are not Earth are becoming actual places, I guess? We love these places anyway. They're becoming more and more like home. All we need are more of us. And they come, descending in waves, trying to take us back. Okay, so there's like pilots from Earth. We beat them back every time, and sometimes one or two look around and decide, I'd rather stay here. And then there's more of us. Sometimes they succeed and take one of us back home. That's just as fine with us. We should go where we wish, live as we wish. And our sisters get taken home. They bring a small part of us back to Earth. That can't go unchanged. Like Pluto always said, this future no one wanted is the only future that leads somewhere. A future she couldn't hold, and still can hold, but she doesn't need to. We're holding it with her. We are holding it together. All together, we can hold this future. Earth isn't ready to accept us, and we're not ready to forgive Earth. That's okay, we don't have to be. Let's just fight about it. Let's fuck over it, okay? Let's break up and get back together again over it. If we lose on the terms we set, and that proves our point, so haha, we win. If you hate that logic and think it's stupid, come over here and mess me up about it. I feel like it's Saturn saying that. Come here and make out with me about it. Alright. So, it's a different kind of ending. In the sense that, you know, instead of creating like this weird, like, home on the moon, I guess, this like own independent like moon place for them to live together. Instead, they continue living in their ship cells and continue being like a separate being, you know, that's different from humans in their like ship cells, I guess, space people, you know. And of course, I assume they use that gravity well to stop Earth from sending actual like military units. Rather, they're forced to send new pilots to maybe try to get them back home and everything. And but, you know, it's kind of like this weird, I guess, back and forth, you know, and everything. There's like space people, and now there's Earth people, and they'll forever just be like in constant conflict, but in a good way, maybe, you know, in a diplomatic way, not like a fighting, like, you know, kill each other way, but in a nicer way, maybe. I don't know. There you go. That's Saturn's ending. Still a little bit. I don't know. I feel like I got a little bit more understanding of the general themes of this visual novel. A little bit more. Again, I still have my, I guess, criticisms, you know, a little nitpicks about how the writing is sometimes, and everything, I guess. But, you know, we'll see. I'll reserve judgment until I do another round, probably after Saturn round, which we've just done, is Pluto's route as well. And we'll see. I don't know how repetitive her route will be, because there'll probably be some scenes that we've seen before, but, well, we'll see. There you go. I'll continue doing Pluto's route next time.